Yo, hello everyone. I hope we are ready for some Starcraft. Going to be doing some Group 50 today for Preseason 1 of CPL Season 10. I hope you are all hyped, because I am hyped. CPL is back. We're going to get some great games. We're going to get a great season. Hopefully a lot of improvement from some players, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. So let's go ahead and hop right into this. I know we're in a bit of a deadline because Escalate's going to be casting right after me, so if you like StarCraft, stick around. We will probably rate him if he's live when we finish up here. So you go from one CPL cast right to the next. So let's go ahead and hop into our first game pretty much instantly here. Yes, kitty, we're going to cast today. All right, and here we are in the top left, spawning as the Olive Terran. It is none other than nOm.Lovesnow. And in the bottom right, our blue Zerg player, it is attentat, not repping his nom tag, but that is okay. We still love him anyways. Map for season 1, or excuse me, for week 1 is of course retro, so all of our games today will be played on retro. So I will probably not go out of my way to announce it every single time, but yeah, map is retro. Players for game number 1, Lovesnow versus attentat. We'll have to see if any of these players want to bring out anything cheesy to start with. It is best of 1, so those kind of cheesy plays can definitely be a strong contender for getting a quick and easy win. Best of 1s, of course, are very volatile. Kitty, get down. Gosh, I fed my cat right before the stream started, thinking it would get her to leave me alone, but nope, she just wants nothing but attention. All right, let's see here. Oh, okay, I thought that drone was going to go make a pull for a second there, but nope, it's going to mine. Supply people coming down here for Lovesnow, so looking like we're probably going to get a more normal game, which I kind of expect from both these players. Lovesnow, I've seen him do some BDSs before, but both of them are usually pretty decent about playing more standard macro games. So, yeah, let me turn on the music for you guys. Let me know if the volume is too loud for the music. I haven't done the audio levels for the music in-game, so hopefully it shouldn't be too loud, and hopefully you can hear me over it. If I need to do some adjustments on the fly, I can do that. Alright, barracks going down here for Lovesnow. Hatchery, we're going to get our 12 hatch from attentat. So yeah, looking like a very, the in-game audio can be turned up a little bit. Alright, yeah, let's do that. We'll do it through the in-game settings, because it's on the lowest on the in-game. So we'll do... there we go. Let me know how that sounds for you guys. All right, so 12 pool. We are going to get a 12 hatch, 11 pool, 10 gas. So we're going to go for very fast mutas. Pinging on the minimap somehow. And looks like both players are going to scout each other's workers basically as they're passing through here at the same time. Drone's going to pop up, see nothing's here. He's going to pop down, see the SCV, and that should let them both know exactly where the other person is at this point. Overlord out front, just making sure there's no cheeky 8-rack. There's a lot of... it's kind of dying down a little bit now, but it's been really popular for that 8-rack kind of push to try and cancel or you know, kill some drones on the hatchery. Actually killing the hatchery is pretty rare, but if you can kill 2 or 3 drones, you're in a pretty good spot as a Terran with that kind of a push, so... Lovesnow saving up money, but he's sending his SCV out onto the map instead of making his command center. I wonder if that's just a misclick. Maybe he's going out to try and meet the drone. Okay, drone's going to go up. Oh, he's got to be really careful. He could lose the drone here. 2 Marines are going to... Yeah, he loses the drone. Command center is going to come down slightly later than Lovesnow would probably have liked, but getting that drone kill is really nice. Back at our Zerg space, we are getting our lair, going up for a very fast lair here, so we're going to see some pretty heavy muta aggression out of attentat here. I really love to see muta aggression. It's the style I like to play, and I like watching it as well. Terran's throwing down his second rack, so we're going to see a 2 racks, probably Academy coming down, but we aren't seeing the gas being taken yet, actually, so... Because I'm pretty sure he should be taking his gas, like, now if he's going to go for Academy. Okay, there it is. Yeah, so probably going to see a 2 racks Academy. 4 Marine move out here, though. And there's no Overlord parked here. The Overlord has never moved over from this location, so attentat has no idea this is coming. This could be really dire. These 4 Marines can do a lot of damage if Lovesnow actually commits with them. Let's see, we have in our eggs. Okay, we do have Zerglings popping there. We have drones popping there, so we're going to have 4 Zerglings. Okay, this Zergling is going to scout these Marines. That's really big. He needs to react to this almost instantly. He's not going to be able to get a sunken down in time, so I like the fact that he's not placing down a creep here, but we need to see some Zerglings coming on, and he might have to pull the drones, maybe even fight with them, but I think it's better to pull them into the main, wait for your Zerglings to pop, and then push this back with the Zerglings. And we are going to see the bunker start to go down as well, so now Attentat's kind of on a bit of a clock here. He's got to break this and push this out quick. Hi, kitty. But there are now enough Lings popping out that he should be able to push this back. One Zergling actually beats one Marine in a straight-up fight, but of course, the more there are, the more that math changes because range units versus melee units. And it looks like we are going to push these Marines back, and we are going to cancel this out, but quite a few Zerglings were made. That's going to really hurt the drone count here from Attentat, so he does manage to kill all of the Marines here, though. That's going to really delay Lovesnow's ability to put any kind of future pressure onto his opponents, so should see Attentat start to drone up really heavily. And in fact, Lovesnow might be in danger here. He has no Marines at home. He was rallying them all across the map, so this one's going to get picked off. That's an SCV. He's going to have to hold this with like one Marine and just SCVs. He cannot let these Zerglings get up this ramp. These Zerglings cannot get up this ramp. Zergling's going to pop in over here. Ooh, bunker just barely finishes. He's going to try and run up the ramp. He gets one ring, two Lings up, three Lings. All five Lings are going to get up. They are a little bit softened up, but not overly softened. This Marine's going to start taking some damage. It's definitely not going to get out of here safely. Okay, we got our first medic that's popped. One medic and two Marines is still not enough to fight this many Zerglings, especially without stim. Another Marine going to get picked off there. That one's going to get surrounded. This is going out of control extremely quickly, focusing down the medic. Now it's just SCVs versus Zerglings. Do we have more Zerglings being made at home? We do, but they aren't being rallied across the map, so Attentat making a ton of Zerglings, but not quite using them yet. Engineering Bay is finished. Do we have Marines? We have one Marine that's popped out. Stim is now done. This one Marine cannot fight these three Zerglings, though, if Attentat commits, yeah. Okay, now we have a second Marine. We can do some micro here. We are going to get both of those, but here comes 12 more Zerglings. Lovesnow only with one Marine. This bunker is entirely empty. It's not even going to get into the bunker. The bunker's going to go down. Oh, no, this is just falling apart for Lovesnow. It's got slightly bigger picture here. We got a missile turret going down in the main. He is worried about the mutas. Let's check. We do have Spire, and mutas are popping now back at home. Looks like Attentat's not going to try and bust the ramp. He's just going to focus down this command center, force it to lift off. I like that. It's a better decision than trying to force his way up the ramp between all of these SCVs. Oh, he's got to be really careful. These Marines can get surrounded. Oh, if Attentat committed, I think he would have busted up there. Okay, we do have two fire bats out. That's going to really help with the Zerglings here, but he's got to get this in a good angle. Zerglings actually beat fire bats if the Zerglings can get us around on the fire bat. In fact, I don't know why Attentat's running away. He could just go in here, but the mutas are going to arrive. He's probably going to pick off these fire bats with the mutas. He's going to send the Zerglings back in. This is just getting more and more dangerous for Lovesnow. Lovesnow somehow just barely holding on, but how long can he keep just barely holding on for? Ooh, that first fire bat goes down almost instantly. The second one at half HP. The medic must have died at some point. I didn't see it die, but that one medic is no longer with the army here. More mutas being rallied across the map. We are going to be up to 6 mutas now. Not quite enough to really fight a turret. I mean, you can definitely kill one, but you're going to take a lot more damage than you would like to. Do we have Marine range? I didn't see if that finished up. It doesn't look like it. The fact that he's running away here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure those Marines should be in range right there, and they're not firing. Oh, no, we have Marine range. Okay, Marine range did finish up. But still, this is 6 Mutalisks against 4 Marines. Yeah, I'll rage you, Escalade. Oh my gosh, just send these Zerglings up the ramp, man. There's almost nothing up here. I'm surprised the reservation that Attentat's showing here. It's really difficult to not just throw everything out here and just like set your rally points right here and just, you know, 5SZ, 6SZ. Ooh. Lovesnow's got to be really, really careful with this command center. Floating it down, these mutas can now hit it while it's floating, so he doesn't have to just worry about the Zerglings anymore. But Attentat has decided it's time to commit. He's going to jump onto these Marines. There's only 2 Marines left, but there's 12 Zerglings here as well. Muta's taking a ton of damage from these missile turrets. 2 of them are going to fall, but the missile turrets are now gone, and now there's nothing to stop these mutas from capping out these barracks here. I don't like to call games before they're over, but I just don't know how Lovesnow's going to recover from this position. He's in a really, really bad spot. More and more Zerglings streaming into the main base. The command center has landed. He is making SCVs, but I don't think it's going to be alive long enough to do anything with those SCVs. Though the Zerglings are getting mopped up, but the problem is they've still got these 6 mutas here. 7 mutas now, and they're all fairly full health. The weak injured ones died, so these are all fairly new mutas. More and more SCVs dying. We're trying to throw down panic turrets as fast as we can, but nothing's killing off these 4 Zerglings here. I think we're going to see GG from Lovesnow here any second now. This is looking really, really dire. I don't know. We're going to start losing the barracks. One of the barracks is going to fall right now. More Zerglings coming in. Marines pop out of the barracks and instantly get killed, and GG is indeed going to get called. That is going to be game number 1. Going to Attentat. And these are all, like I said, best of 1s, of course, so Attentat taking the game off of LoveSnow. Lightswarm asking if this was Drunk Snow. I'm not sure, you'll have to ask him. But yeah, he got a little overrun there, unfortunately. It's a difficult situation to be in, for sure. All right. Let's go ahead and get our second game started up here. And that's going to be these colors in this race. All right, we'll hop right into it. No delays, no need to wait. And here we are, our second game of the day. In the top left, you know him, you love him. It is Attentat. Just took down LoveSnow with some extremely aggressive play, overrunning LoveSnow's position. LoveSnow kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit with that push out and losing all his Marines there. And in the top right, his opponent, it is the pink Protoss. It is Rotj. So from a TVZ to a PVZ, entirely different matchups, entirely different playstyles. We'll have to see what both players want to bring to this. I actually haven't seen much of Attentat's ZVP, so I don't know what style he usually likes to play, and I honestly don't know who Rotj is. That player's ID is new to me, so we'll have to see what he brings to the field here as well. Looks like we're not going to see anything overly cheesy from either of our players, so let's see if this is going to be a Pylon Scout or not. And it is not going to be a Pylon Scout, so we're probably going to see a Gateway first out of our Protoss player here. And we are going to see an Overlord, probably an Overpull out of Attentat, but it is a 4-player map, so he might favor the 11 hatch or 12 hatch on a 4-player map. Like I said, I'm not as familiar with his ZVP style, so we'll see what he likes to bring out. Getting up to that 200 minerals, pulling a drone, yeah, so he's going to go for the Overpull. I like this. I always go Overpulled. I don't see any reason to risk the 11 hatch or the 12 hatch. The slight economic advantage isn't worth the dangers and the risk that goes for it. Oh, Rotj is Jedi 1? Oh, okay. So Rotj is Jedi, got it. Okay, I do know Jedi. So we should have a pretty good game here then. I think they're actually probably fairly equal in skill, with maybe Jedi being slightly ahead. I don't know how active Jedi's been lately. Obviously I'm not in a clan with him, so I don't see him play as often, but if he's been active, I think that it probably slightly favors him. But we'll have to see. Overpull has gone down. Drone is going out to scout. He's looking for the probe, but the probe is coming just a little bit late. It might get there just in time to... No, minerals come in just in time. He's going to get that hatch down for free. Spawning pool is going to finish up. Should see our 2 Zerglings. Yep. You always make 4 Zerglings with that spawning pool when you go for an overpull in case they go for a gateway first. This forces the Zealot to stay home and allows you to start droning up or make more Zerglings if you really want to try and put on aggression. But my preference is to drone up and get into the mid-game. I like to be aggressive in the mid-game. I don't like to risk things on early game aggression. And it looks like Attentat might feel the same way. We're making some drones behind this as well. Back at our Protoss players home, are we going to go straight into the Nexus or are we going to go for a Forge? It's looking like we're saving up for the Nexus. I do like that. There's no reason to panic here. There's no reason to start throwing down forges and cannons and all sorts of stuff, especially as you're seeing larva being built up. You're seeing only 4 Zerglings made. Throw that Nexus down. If you have to, you can cut probes to get the forge down after, but you probably don't have to do that in this instance. Zerglings spreading out because our Zerg player still doesn't know which of the 2 bases his opponent is at. 3rd base being taken for our Zerg player as well. And the Nexus is going down for Jedi 1. Attentat is going to scout that, so he does know the Nexus is going to go down before the forge, but this is like the most standard ZVP you're ever going to see, so he's definitely not going to overreact or anything like that. Gas is going down for our Zerg player, but he has not transferred drones yet. In fact, we might have been supply blocked or something there, because we built up quite a bit of larva. I think he was maybe saving larva until he scouted to make sure he wasn't getting too gated, but that was quite the long larva save up. I'm a little bit worried it's going to hurt his economy going into the mid-game. And we're still making Zerglings here, so it's looking like he wants to try and bust his opponent here, but Jedi 1 is scouting all of the Zerglings being made. Is he going to see all of them down there? Yeah, he sees all the Zerglings on the low ground as well, so if he somehow didn't see the eggs, he definitely knows. In the meantime, this pylon is about to go down. I actually don't know what happened to those Zealots. Oh, they moved out in the map. That's what happened. These 2 I think you just let these 2 Zerglings get into the main. You know more are coming. You can't just let them run in. He's going to go for the defensive hold here, though. He's got enough. If he can, yeah, you just let that go into the main. You got to hold this wall. Hold the wall. Hold the wall. Put your zealots on the wall. Okay, you do have to push out here and kind of do the dance with the Zerglings. The Zerg here is just trying to get the zealots to come out, not to fight them, but so he can do exactly this. Run past. He can get on the cannons. He can get on the, or go run to the main. I'm going to go ahead and select just the Zergling, because this Zergling's getting kills in the main at the same time, but I want to watch what's happening down here. Zergling does finally get picked off. It had 3 probe kills in the end, I believe it was. I saw 2 for sure, but I think I got a 3rd. And we're going to try desperately to keep this battery and cannon alive. The gateway did fall. This is an only zealot. We're not getting another zealot for the rest of the game at this rate. Oh, no, this cannon's going to fall. Attentat, just an extremely aggressive player in both of our games, and it looks like it's going to pay off for him. We got another cannon started up, but is there another gateway in the main? No, that was one of the last. This is the last zealot on the map. We have no gateway, so this zealot's got to do some magic, and it doesn't quite do enough magic. This one cannon is never going to finish, even with only 1 Zergling beating on it. We are pulling probes to try and save it, but we still do have to cancel that. More and more Zerglings is going to start streaming across the map, and with no zealots here to hold this wall, the amount of time it takes for a cannon to finish up, this is looking really dire for Jedi 1. Okay, we are going to start a cannon. We are going to start another gateway, but we have to hold this wall with probes now, and gateways, or excuse me, cannons take so freaking long to finish. I swear it's like 2 hours for 1 cannon to finish up. And he didn't even block it all the way, so the Zerglings can get it right in, right on top of that cannon. They're going to cancel this cannon as well. I think there's more Zerglings than there are cannons at this point, and Jedi 1 is going to call the GG. Attentat takes 2 games in his preseason, playing extremely aggressive and extremely well. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break and get me some water and all that kind of stuff. So I will see you guys here in about 2 minutes. Get yourself some drinks or snackies if you need, and we will hop right into our next game right after that. Yeah, it would help if I unmuted myself. Boomer, Marty, and Worst, thank you guys for the follows, but I do gotta say you guys ruined it. I was at 69 followers for quite a long time, and now I am no longer at 69 followers. How dare you? But I appreciate the follows either way. It means a lot. Helps the channel grow and helps push me towards getting that, what is it, partnership or whatever. So, much appreciated for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and load up our next game here. Oh boy. It's looking like we're going to get a TVT, boys. Oh, I need to... Sorry, bear with me, guys. I need to update the scoreboard for our new players. And I can't see their names from that screen. go. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and hop into our next game. It's going to be a TVT. It might be a long one, so let's hop right into it. Alright, and in the top left here, giving us the Terran music for a Terran replay, it is nOm.Lovesnow, our yellow Terran. And in the top right, our white Terran, it is a WetWorm. I don't know if that's a moniker, it's someone that I actually do know, but I don't know that name, so if someone knows who that is... I like the way you stare into my soul when you update the scoreboard. Yeah, the scoreboard's kind of like literally right under my camera, so maybe I should move that somewhere else, but, you know, I'll just stare right into your soul. Just smile. Just happily look at you. I see you, worst. Alright, TVT here, guys. Not a matchup that I'm super familiar with the builds and the strategies. I obviously watch it, especially when it's on like ASL or something like that. I'm not the kind of person who just ignores mirrors, but I won't actively go looking for it. I don't study the matchup, so we'll see how well I can do here. Looking for any kind of major build deviation. One thing I can say is WetWorm is opting to make a supply depot away from the command center. A lot of Terrans like to build it here underneath the command center, so it pops the SCV out just a little bit closer to the minerals. However, there's also the possibility that when you build it here, an SCV returning sits right here, and then this SCV like pops out over here because there's no place to place it right here. It's really weird the way that works. So it does have some negatives. Can't get him to pop. Oh. I guess that makes sense because it pops around to the right. So yeah, it doesn't work on the left-hand side. So Nightcat dropping some knowledge here that I didn't even think of. Barracks coming down from both of our players here. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, but I guess that only works on the right side, which makes sense because the way that rally points work around buildings, they start from the bottom left and they work their way around counterclockwise. Right? Counterclockwise, yeah. Alright, gas going down from both our players. Both of our players pretty mirrored builds here so far. Looks like WetWorm has a slight economic advantage, so might be mineral boosting a little bit better, or he might have made something just a little bit later that I didn't notice, but shouldn't make a massive difference in this game. It's definitely not like the game is lost because WetWorm has an extra 16 minerals early on, so... But he is optimizing a little bit better in some way, shape, or form, it looks like. See our barracks timings here. A little bit faster barracks from WetWorm as well. Yeah, so WetWorm just slightly more optimized. Not the end of the world at all. Supply depot going down for WetWorm. Are we going to see one from WetWorm? If he's going to make one, it's late. He is going to make one, but it's going to be supply block temporarily. In fact, he even cancels the Marine so he can make sure he can keep his SCV production online. Gets the factory going. Factory going over here as well. Our Marine is going to chase out our SCV. Well, SCV might make it out alive. The Marine kind of just gave up. But WetWorm's going to see the gas. See, there's only one SCV on gas, so he's going to know exactly what's going on. Mineral walking SCV should be able to get home safely now, although... Yeah, it's fast enough it'll make it around the corner of the ramp in time. Still no scout for WetWorm here. If anyone knows who WetWorm is, please let me know in chat. I don't know if that's a moniker for another player. But for now, I will just keep calling them WetWorm, as silly as that name kind of is. Marines down on the low ground, whereas the Marines are on the high ground. We do stop at 2 Marines for both players. So WetWorm got us a little bit later because he made a supply depot a little bit later, but they both end up in the exact same position anyways. And WetWorm is never going to get in and see how many is on gas, so he's not going to necessarily know what his opponent's doing unless the command center goes down and he scouts it. We'll see if he tries to run past these Marines here just to ensure that he sees the command center or not, but... And he is going to pop in. He does see the command center. He's going to even try and go into the main. He's not going to make it. Oh, he makes it! Never mind! I am wrong. He was going to get in there. He's going to see the one factory. He's going to see the one gas. So he's going to get a full scout. I think he probably could have pulled out when he saw the command center. I don't know a ton about TVT, but I'm pretty sure that tells you everything you need to know, I would assume. Although I suppose it's possible they might have skipped gas. WetWorm, in the meantime, has put back onto gas, while WetWorm has not. Both players are getting their command centers. And we're going to see our first move out here from WetWorm. That first Vulture is out on the map. It's going to get to these Marines, and there's no Vulture backup. Did we go? We went add-on first for WetWorm here. So there's nothing to fight this Vulture. This Vulture's going to get the SCV kill. I don't think he can make it up this ramp with the shooting from the low ground to the high ground, but this is massive. He's delaying the CC for a long time. And with the Marines coming in, he can actually get vision at this high ground here, and he can micro the Vulture to take shots at the Marines, and the Marines, I think, only get one shot, and then think Vultures don't outrange Marines. I'm not positive on that, though. But I think they'll definitely get one shot off. Tank is coming up for LoveSnow, but this is a long build time before he's able to get back onto the low ground and secure this. I don't think that this command center will have to be canceled, but this is still a ton of damage going down on it, and a lot of damage from delayed mining and delayed expansion time. Our opponent is already transferring SCVs down to his natural, whereas this one might actually get canceled. That tank is not even close to done yet. He's going to have to cancel this. With this third Vulture coming in, that might be enough damage. You can't repair it. It's not a finished building. He's got to push down. Ooh, WetWorm kind of over-respecting the Marines here a little bit. He's going to throw SCVs on there to try and force build it, to keep giving it more HP. The tank's going to come down. We've lost SCVs now. We're going to lose this one. He's still going to try and get the cancel. He might still be able to get it. It's going to take tanks so long to kill Marines. We're going to kill another SCV, and he is going to just pull out and keep his army alive. Is he going to try and run past? Yeah, he's going to try and run past, but good pullback from LoveSnow here. Oh, this dance is crazy. Is he going to get the cancel or not? 117 HP, 3 more Vultures left. Oh, pull the Vultures away. Yeah, pull them to the backside. 2 Vultures left. 51. I think yeah, he's gonna barely save it. 32 HP left over. 27, 22, 22 HP on that command center. This command center is gonna finish, and it's going to be burning, I bet. Let's keep an eye on that. We do have a Wraith in the meantime. Hasn't got any kills yet. Do we have an answer for this Wraith here? No, it's gonna be a long time before we get an answer as well. The barracks is picked off, I'm assuming, it looks like. I want to know if this is, sorry, we'll go back to the Wraith in a second. I want to know if this is burning when it finishes. Yeah, it's burning down when it finishes. Alright, this Wraith has 2 kills so far. Yeah, I think he could have finished it if he had committed a little bit harder. When those Marines came down, he like kind of panic pulled back because he didn't know it was coming down. I think if he had just overcommitted there, I think he would have got it, but that's okay. He still did so much damage. He killed like 6 or 7 SCVs, delayed that command center a ton. Plus the minerals lost repairing that command center is, you know, it's just more damage to add on to the top of that. This Wraith is starting to kind of make up the difference, though. We're at 28 SCVs to 31 SCVs. It's got 4 kills. Gonna get a 5th one here for sure. It takes so long. Look at that. Boop. Boop. Oh my god, it missed. Did you guys see that? It missed one of the shots. It was at 4 HP. It shot. That, like, what is it, like 1 in 98 chance of missing a shot? It actually missed it. 1 in 256, yeah, worst to got it. In the meantime, we had a bit of a Vulture running over here. Oh my god, he got both the tanks with that mine! Oh, LoveSnow. LoveSnow's hurting, man. A second Wraith is on the way. This command or turret might finish up and save the day over on the left side. What do we have for... Okay, we have another tank coming out, but there's 3 more Vultures. They do have mines. Okay, these Wraiths are going to have to fall or run away. We do have 6 kills on one of those Wraiths, so that's pretty decent damage, but is it enough damage? Okay, there we go. Yeah, wall is coming up, so these Vultures aren't going to be able to just run in here and lay down more mines and kill more tanks with them. But he is going to get some free SCVs out of this, so that's pretty nice. He got 3 SCVs, in fact. Okay, this barracks is getting floated every... Oh, did he remake the barracks for no reason? Okay, he canceled it. Yeah, he started remaking a barracks a little bit earlier, but I think this barracks was still alive this whole time. Although I could be wrong, and it could have gotten killed. He could have floated the new one over. Now he's remaking that barracks again. This is going to get picked off. There's nothing he can do to... yeah, attentat. I've casted 2 of your games already. You'll have to watch the VOD afterwards. Sorry, bud. But I did you and LoveSnow and you and Jedi. I don't know if you played any other games for this week, but if you did, they'll still be coming up. LoveSnow is going to lose his barracks as well. We are only on 1 factory for LoveSnow, while we're already on 3 factories for WetWorm. So WetWorm at a massive advantage. The economy difference isn't too bad. Obviously, WetWorm has more income long-term because he got this up earlier, but they're making about the same amount of money now. So as long as LoveSnow can like hold and not get contained too heavily, I think he's going to be okay. But the problem is we now have siege tanks coming across the map. The contain is a very real possibility. Mines are already set up here in the natural. And with siege tanks coming across, we can get a pretty wicked contain going on down here. Yeah, no worries here, Rob. I never forget. I will make sure to do that as soon as the cast is over. It's one of the first things I do every single time. I think it takes like 10 or 15 minutes for it to actually like render it and post the VOD, but as soon as the stream ends, I instantly go into my settings and do that. So you should be able to watch it pretty much any time as soon as this is over. Ooh, okay, we do have Cloak on these Wraiths. Scan going down. He's going to shoot one of the healthier Wraiths, but the Wraiths are going to just run away. Ooh, he does actually manage to find the weaker Wraith and get another shot on it. So I don't know who this WetWorm guy is, but he's definitely a pretty decent player. clicking on units to see their health while mid-fight is a tactic that a lot of newer players don't really manage to handle. We do have an SCV out here on the map for WetWorm. Might be taking a hidden base down here at some point, or that might have just been the scouting SCV that never made it home. Once again, WetWorm going to lose his barracks, but I think he's at 4. I think he wants to go up to 5, I think, factories for TVT is what you go to, right? And then you try and take your third off of that? I'm not super familiar with TVT, so I could be wrong on that, but that feels right to me. Maybe it's off of 4, though. Academy going down for WetWorm. He's definitely got to get some sort of intel on the map. The Cloak Wraiths are doing only so much. Eventually, they're going to get cleaned up. Does manage to pick off the Goliath, though, which means he's going to start shooting these tanks for free. Cloak does wear out of energy for this one, so he is going to have to pull back home. I actually wouldn't mind him staying with the 2 Cloaked Wraiths. At the very least, base some scans. Yeah, he's going to go back in. Oh, we got a pull out from here from WetWorm. There's a ton of mines here, though. WetWorm's got to be really careful with his tanks. We have Siege Mode done for WetWorm. I don't know if Siege Mode is done for WetWorm. It's not. So we did not have Siege Mode finished quite yet. But we cleared all of the Vultures. It's now 2 tanks to 2 tanks with 2 Vultures instead of 2 Goliaths. A third tank does rally over here, though. So the Contain is still very much alive. It's going to be really hard for WetWorm to break out of this. And we do have another barracks for WetWorm over here as well. So the scouting advantage is also in WetWorm's favor because WetWorm's barracks still hasn't made it out here yet. What do we got going on in the main base? Yeah, there's our 5th factory coming down for WetWorm, 5th factory coming down for WetWorm. So the game has sort of evened up at this point, except that... sorry, excuse me, guys. Except that WetWorm has a Contain up here on WetWorm. The race versus the Goliaths, who kills the barracks faster. That's actually fairly even, but 4 Goliaths definitely outdo 2 Wraiths. But with the Wraiths shooting, or the Goliath shooting at the barracks, this is the chance that WetWorm's taking to move out into the map. He's got to be really careful with these mines, though. One big mine already went off. He's going to clear up both the tanks, and he's going to push WetWorm back. WetWorm actually going to break out of his natural with that. However, WetWorm up here on the high ground with another siege tank. Got to be really careful not to push too far here. Ooh, both of these are clumped up, and they're both very weak. He's going to be able to pick them both off with more tanks rallying down. We still have mines out here. The Contain might still be alive after all. Goliaths are actually pretty good units. Like, what the hell? 6 HP left on this tank. Ooh, the wall's gone as well, so now the Vultures can come in and start laying mines. He's got to clear these 2 mines out here before we can ever move onto the map. Fortunately, Terran units are pretty good at clearing mines blindly. 3rd CC is finished up for WetWorm, so behind all this, WetWorm is expanding. That's probably given the WetWorm the ability to kind of catch up an army supply there a little bit and burst out that money that went into this command center, but unfortunately it just wasn't quite enough, so WetWorm once again getting that Contain up on WetWorm. Starport with the Control Tower add-on, so we're probably going to see some drop ships here, maybe to try and get out onto the map and do some damage, or maybe just to be used to try and bust out of here as well. Yeah, WetWorm, gross. That's a very unique moniker. Alright, WetWorm's barracks is going to finally go down, so WetWorm no longer has the barracks for scouting information. I think he lost all of his Wraiths as well. Yeah, I'm not seeing them. We are getting Wraiths coming out for WetWorm finally, and Vulture's going to come out into the map here, but there's enough tanks and Goliaths here. I don't think this is going to actually do anything. One of his mines does get laid down, though, so I think that's one of his. It's so hard to tell with mines. I think that's a white mine, actually. Alright, there's 3 tanks here, I believe. Yeah, 3 tanks versus 3 tanks. With no extra army left over. What are these even shooting at? Is it shooting at a mine? Do they have a chance of missing mines because they're underground or something? Alright, more mines coming down. Wraith is now out. So scouting information for the tank versus tank is 100% in WetWorm's favor. And WetWorm now has no response to the Wraiths that are picking away his tanks. Although a bit of a misrally here. Gonna get a tank for free. Almost gets the second. WetWorm gonna just barely pull that back in time. And WetWorm in the meantime did try and take a hidden 3rd base, but it's gonna get scouted. The SCVs trying to sneak out might have given it away a little bit. Alright, we are going to try and break out with the help of these SCVs. This might just barely finally be enough for WetWorm to break this position. He's going to lose 1 tank for the cost of 3, 2 tanks for the cost of 3, 3 for 3. Okay, 3 tanks for 4 tanks, but this Wraith still has no answer to it, so this Wraith might kill this tank at this rate. Although, I think 1 SCV actually might out-repair the damage of a siege tank. 3 definitely do. WetWorm expanding to this high ground as well in the meantime. More siege tanks rallying across. How many add-ons are we up to? We're up to 3 add-ons and 7 factories for WetWorm. 6 factories with 2 add-ons for WetWorm. The Wraith's going to finally come out for WetWorm to deal with his opponent's Wraith. He is going to keep his siege tank alive, and he's going to be able to deal with this barracks as well. There is still a ton of mines out here, though, so WetWorm has to be really careful if he wants to try and push this way. Not to mention that his opponent has control of this high ground with siege tanks on top. So I think that this is just this is dead man land. You don't ever go here. You just ignore this area, and you come out to the map this way and expand this way. In fact, WetWorm already floating a third command center down here to this location as well. It is 4 base to 3 base, but we're only mining gas. Well, only 1 on gas, actually, in fact, so this base is not up and mining yet, so the economies are still fairly equal, but SCV's coming over now. WetWorm is going to start having an economic advantage quicker. Alright, a little bit of a siege tank move out here. Only one of them sieged up. It's going to get mines dropped on it almost instantly. And now WetWorm sieging up again. Do you even pull the tanks in here? I'm not sure if it's... you could get like a vulture right here and just lay 1 mine and not risk the tanks, but WetWorm going to attack with all of it. He's going to break this small little soft contain that was going on down here, but the tank rally points just keep coming in for WetWorm. Gonna lose another tank here from WetWorm. What's our upgrades looking at? We're at 1-1 to 0-0. No upgrades for WetWorm. He's got plus... No, that's +2 on the way for WetWorm with no upgrades at all for WetWorm on the way. Trying to get some mines down, but WetWorm doing a good job of targeting that down. And yeah, we are out repairing the Wraith damage. Oh no, the Wraith just barely out damages 1 SCV's repair. So eventually the siege tank will die. We do have more Wraiths being made for WetWorm here. This vulture going to come up and find himself blocked, nowhere to go, but there are more vultures out here on the map that he could maybe send over. In the meantime, one thing that WetWorm needs to worry about setting up a contain out here, if he leaves this natural too open, WetWorm has a strong avenue to just push right down in here. He's already got mines set up and everything, so if too much army amasses here, he's able to push down in here. He could once again get contained into his natural, which could be really bad for WetWorm. But alternatively, if WetWorm commits too much, then WetWorm just marches across the map and does the same back to him, so... This siege tank at 30 HP is slowly falling. I'm going to keep this selected, and we're going to see if that falls while I'm looking around the map. Okay, third base still up and mining. We are at full saturation for all of these bases here for WetWorm. Starport on the way. Oh, he saves the tank! 15 HP. Tank is saved. I do like the tank line from WetWorm here a little bit better than WetWorm. WetWorm kind of had to panic siege them up and has kind of kept them clumped like this. In the meantime, WetWorm has so much more vision on the map. Like, this is what WetWorm sees. Oops. This is what WetWorm sees. Like, I mean, that's a scan, obviously, but look at how much vision WetWorm has. WetWorm has full control of this game at the moment. Looks like we did at some point clear these mines out. I didn't, unfortunately, see if anything got killed during that, but 2 Wraiths versus 1 Clothed Wraith. Gotta run away. Oh, scan goes down, though. Now WetWorm has to run away. Alright, and we are seeing a small rally down here. We'll see if this is going to be for a container, if he's going to come up here and try and bust this. There are now siege tanks on this high ground, so it will not be cost-effective to break up this ramp, but WetWorm may still try it anyways. Alright, WetWorm is going for it. It is high ground to low ground. There are 2 siege tanks on this high ground here, but WetWorm also has the +2 weapons upgrade, and WetWorm does not have any upgrades at all, so... Okay, 1 siege tank left. The vultures honestly might finish it. Okay, that's going to go down. Now there's 2 tanks on this high ground. What do we have in response? 2 tanks and 3 vultures coming down. Both these tanks are injured, although mines going down as well. WetWorm's got to be really careful pushing up here. Both those mines do get picked off, though, but... Okay, WetWorm is going to hold this position. We'll be all right here. No major damage taken. WetWorm holding this position with 3 tanks. And WetWorm once again pushing forward, picking up the injured Wraith and starting to target down this one. Ooh, WetWorm's got to be careful with the Goliaths coming up. Oh, both Wraiths are going to fall. So we are resetting the Wraith count to 0. In the meantime, WetWorm does have drop ships, but it's actually going to get scouted almost instantly by WetWorm here. Forces his opponent to siege up here. We've got mines going down. I think WetWorm will clean this up. Although at what cost? Ooh, good mine there. More mines going down. Just got to deal with the... Goliath now at this point, and that mine's probably going to finish it off. Yeah. So WetWorm's going to win that little engagement. In the meantime, he's going to actually counterattack with these vultures. Could get some good SCV damage down here, but we have a 5th base pretty much already done for WetWorm. In fact, I think that's... Okay, it's about halfway done now, so... Laying some mines in the mineral line, so WetWorm's got to be really careful here. Oh, that mine is huge! Oh my gosh, that mine also... 2 Goliaths. Almost all of the SCVs are going to fall before these vultures get cleaned up. So that's really good damage from WetWorm. Unfortunately... WetWorm actually probably had a bit of an excess of SCVs, so WetWorm doing him a little bit of a favor there, potentially. And we are now mined out of our main. Our natural is about to dry up, and we are oversaturated as heck on our third base. We are trying to take a fourth behind this, but there's a vulture here that could cancel that pretty freaking quickly, and no map control pretty much at all from WetWorm to keep that secure at all. Small little groups of tanks all over the map. Ooh, rally points going right through the siege tanks. Finally got +1 out of WetWorm here, but we already got +3 for our siege tanks from his opponent, WetWorm. And no upgrades still on the way. 2 command centers coming up. Where's the second CC? Is it just being made like in the natural somewhere? Yeah, he was making it here and it got picked off. I don't think WetWorm realizes that it's still sitting there. That's 400 minerals he's never going to get back. Alright, WetWorm pushing forward. We're going to break this a little bit of a position here. And this might give him the opportunity he needs to counter down. I would probably go for this third base and like a vulture down here to scout. In the meantime, WetWorm trying to return the favor by breaking this position out of WetWorm's as well. He's going to get this position, but the reinforcing tanks and vultures coming up from WetWorm might be enough to clean this up. There is more tanks here from WetWorm. However, WetWorm's tanks are already sieged up. Ooh, he's got to be really careful not to let these vultures just lay mines on top of all this. Okay, WetWorm's going to hold this position. He can actually move over and kill these with just the vultures if he wants to. So WetWorm actually doing it. Oh my gosh. Pew, pew, pew! 4 raids here are just going to wipe out this whole tank line. Isn't there Goliaths on the map somewhere, or did he lose them all? I think he lost them all. WetWorm's going to unsiege and run, but all these tanks are already dead. That's just like the most cost-efficient trade I've ever seen. Yeah, WetWorm still doesn't realize that this command center was being built. Pushing forward, trying to lay down some mines, but they should get cleaned up pretty easily. This dropship is empty, this dropship is empty. We're still losing tanks to these wraiths. WetWorm has no answer for them at the moment. A 5th wraith is going to join the battle. Oh my gosh, do we have any Goliaths on the way? Okay, we have some Goliaths on the way, but we're probably going to lose a 6th tank before that Goliaths get here. Maybe even a 7th. Oh! Oh! WetWorm went to micro the race and didn't realize that one of them was almost dead. We're gonna leave! He's gonna live! Alright, 3 Goliaths. If he has Cloak, he actually kills those. Oh, and if he moves them into the siege tanks, he also kills them. Okay, there goes the scan. Wraiths are pretty freaking weak. He's gonna have to run away. Alright, we do have a 4th base up and running for WetWorm finally. So WetWorm is back on a 2-base economy, a full 2-base economy since this base was mining out. But his opponent is on a 3-base economy. I think this base is getting... Actually, it's pretty healthy. It's about halfway done, so... A full 3-base economy for WetWorm here. WetWorm actually been trading pretty efficiently, but WetWorm also getting quite the bank built up. Hello, Shimmer. Welcome to the cast, buddy. Alright, WetWorm pushing forward here. Gonna break this position pretty easily. Let's see how cost-efficient he can be, but with only +1 from our siege tanks from WetWorm, I think that he can just cost-effectively break pretty much anything he wants. Ooh, WetWorm gotta be careful with his rallies here. Moving more tanks forward. Ooh, these tanks are gonna fall for free. I think these ones are also in range of the tanks. They're gonna get a volley off, but it's +3 +1 against +0 +1, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's the +2 or +3, but one of them is a difference between 1 tank, or 2 tank shots and 3 tank shots to kill. I think it's +2 weapon attack. So, that +2 is actually a massive upgrade that WetWorm's missing out on. Gonna finally clear up all those wraiths that were terrorizing him, but at this point he's getting pushed back into a corner more and more. And these tanks just can't trade super efficiently because they're only on +1. Ooh, good mine goes down there though. Random mine gonna help clear out one of those extra tanks. 106 supply to 148 with a bit of a bank still for WetWorm, but you know, it's TVT, you never know. 5 tanks can do a lot and do a lot of damage. WetWorm is trying to take another base here. There is a mine down here denying it, but getting some pot shots off on the SCVs as they get transferred. More wraiths coming across the map with more tanks. And looks like we are going to try and break this, leading with the SCVs to take the first bits of tank shots. I think WetWorm breaks this, but the reinforcements coming in. Ooh, and the cloaked wraiths. Losing the Goliaths there to that push. He's going to be able to push these wraiths back. There's only 3 of them, but he's got to be really careful not to overextend and lose these Goliaths. Alright, Contain's still going strong here for WetWorm. Yeah, this position is pretty much unbreakable. We now have a contain outside of here, although we've unsieged. Is he going to try and push forward and break this? I'm honestly surprised that these bases are still alive from WetWorm. WetWorm has no control of this part of the map. And looks like WetWorm is going to try and move forward and break this. Once again, we only have the +1 upgrade, so WetWorm's tanks are not as deadly as they could be. Man, just look at that. Almost no tanks have fallen for WetWorm, and he's going to clean all of this up. This is looking really dire for WetWorm. Another base coming up here from WetWorm. This command center is finished, but nothing can be done with it. And now WetWorm's going to push up and be right in front of the natural once again. I think WetWorm can clear this with his rallies coming out. But +2... Oh, well, we're going to hit the Goliath. I was going to say +2, how many tanks can he kill with just these? We're going to push down from the high ground as well at the same time. That might actually be enough to turn the tides of battle here. Oh, some big mines going down, hitting some of those tanks, though. Oh, this is not looking good for WetWorm. We got one tank left alive from both of them. Mines going down to kill off... Oh my gosh, those mines! Those mines killed more of WetWorm's own units than they did LoveSnow's. That might have saved LoveSnow. Might not as well, though. The rally coming in from WetWorm, just vicious. Are we at +2 yet? We're not quite there. We're going to have +2 weapons here soon, but there's no tanks left. Those mines are big. Oh, this might be it for LoveSnow. Let's see if he can break out of here, though. He's had some pretty good breakouts earlier on in the game, so we'll see what LoveSnow can pull out here. Maybe something magical out of his hat. These tanks are also pretty staggered, so... Gonna lose all their race. We lose our scouting information. Oh, we got more race back here, though, so never mind. Oh, no, that tank didn't miss either one of those shots. Alright, drop ships coming in from LoveSnow. He's gonna drop on the top of this this contain here. It's a very soft contain, but he is gonna break it. So once again, LoveSnow is gonna be able to get out of his base. More tanks getting rallied down here from WetWorm, though. Actually, WetWorm's gotta be really careful here not to lose these tanks. Looks like we're gonna siege them from just trying to rehold this, but dropping on top of them once again. Alright, 2 tanks are gonna fall. Ooh, that was a big siege tank blast over there. I'm gonna... Oh, they didn't play top versus bottom, so it just... Okay, we're gonna have to deal with the yellow and white. It's kind of hard to tell whose troops are who when they're close together, but... Not much I can do. They didn't play top versus bottom. So see if he scans to kill that mine so he can finally float that command center down. Alright, vultures are going to get out onto the map, so at least that's some pressure getting back out into the map for LoveSnow if he wants. Looks like there might have been a drop over here at some point, but we do once again have a soft contain. +2 is finally done for LoveSnow, so now his tanks 2-shot his opponent's tanks. So WetWorm's going to finally send some vultures down to this base down here. And these SCVs are trapped. They were trying to head down that direction, but they're getting stuck on these tanks here. LoveSnow pushing forward. It's going to break this, but we got to be really careful with these mines. Oh, that mine was brutal. Suddenly, WetWorm's looking really weak. I mean, obviously, he's got way more supply, but, like, where is his army? He's got some tanks moving over here. Is there something down here? No. So it's just, it's all in building units. That's where his army is. That's where his 162 supply is. Alright. Big drop over here from WetWorm. LoveSnow does not have enough here to actually clean this up. Are these dropships empty? These dropships are emptied. So LoveSnow's bringing everything down here, but this is mostly an SCV army at this point. Picking off one of the dropships is pretty nice. Gotta move forward and get that tank. Okay, he's gonna lose 1 tank for it, but that's okay. Oh, might lose a Goliath as well. Okay, just barely doesn't go. Ooh, big mine hit there. This dropship's not gonna make it out. So LoveSnow's gonna resecure this position, but in the meantime, now this is made and gonna start moving onto the map. And this is LoveSnow's army? He does actually have a decent amount up here. His rally points, he reset them up into his main. Okay. Scan's going down to clear out some of these mines. LoveSnow trying to take this bottom center base, but he has no real way to like defend that location. LoveSnow has not had map control for a very long time. These mines, man. A random LoveSnow mine is doing some pretty good damage to his opponent's army, but I don't think that's going to be enough damage either way. We've got 1 siege tank and 2 Goliaths to hold this. LoveSnow is going to start rallying his army down here as well, but it's going to be quite a while before that. Oh, big mine. It's going to be quite a while before this army gets down here, and his opponent's going to already be set up. In fact, he could just march up to the high ground and set up on the high ground if he wanted to. Looks like he is going to play it safe, set up on the natural. First siege tank of LoveSnow is going to come out. And looks like, yeah, I think WetWorm holds this contain. I don't think WetWorm has quite enough because it's just pure siege tanks. So there's nothing to take the first volleys from the tanks. WetWorm pulling back with some of his tanks. I think he's just given up on this position at this point. There's vultures in the meantime in the main base over here, killing these SCVs. And once those go, WetWorm's going to be almost not mining. This base is nearly mined out. 3 kills, 2 kills. Another massive army coming out from WetWorm over here on the right-hand side. WetWorm looks like he is going to try and do a counterattack towards his opponent's base, and this might be WetWorm's last, like, hoorah. If this doesn't work, he might just GG here. Because WetWorm doesn't really have any economy or army left over, but more and more units from WetWorm just rallying down to the center of the map here. Even the raids are getting picked off. Big mines going down. GG's going to get called by WetWorm. WetWorm is going to lose this game. WetWorm is going to take it. SCV is indeed a strong unit. Alright, let's see here. What games do we have left? So we got 2 more games left. I'm going to go ahead and take one more quick break, and then we will probably try and do the last 2 in quick tandem after that. So I will see you guys here in just a moment, and we will get back into some more StarCraft once we do. Alright, and we are back, guys. Let's go ahead and load up our next game. 2 more games to go, and then, like I said, Escalade will be casting after me, so hopefully he'll be going live right about when we finish, and I can just raid him and bring you guys right into some some CPL right afterwards. So let's go ahead and hop into our next game here. Alright, and spawning in the top left position, we have the winner of our last game. It is our Orange Terran player, WetWorm. And in the bottom left position, it is our purple Protoss player. Going under the moniker Rotj, it is Jedi1. Alright, this should be a really interesting matchup. I think Jedi's a really strong player, and WetWorm showed us a really strong TVT, so I'm looking forward to seeing how his TVP plays out. Definitely is a more difficult matchup in my mind when I do try and play Terran. This is definitely the matchup I struggle the most with, so it's always nice to see like good Terrans play it and try and see what they do and like their kind of logic behind their move outs and things like that, and try and improve myself. So alright. So we're not going to have a forward aggressive pile on from Jedi 1, so we're probably not going to see any major Zealot pressure coming out here. Supply deep going down for WetWorm as well. Nothing crazy, no cheese coming out of any of our players so far today. Attentat showing some pretty aggressive games, but not necessarily cheesy games. He definitely just found a weakness and took advantage more so than cheese his opponents. So gateway going down here for Rotj. And nothing crazy out of WetWorm as well. We are putting our barracks next to our command center. Probably put another supply depot over here if he's really worried about Zealot pressure, but this does create a semi-tight wall that Marines can walk through, but Zealots cannot walk through. So if there is Zealot pressure, he's able to walk his Marines through here and kind of dance around the Zealot. And it's close to the mineral line, so the Zealot can't just walk into the mineral line and start hitting on SCVs for free either. Looks like Jedi 1 is going to scout the wrong way for starts. We'll see if WetWorm heads to the bottom or heads to the top right with his scout. It's looking like he's going to head the wrong way as well. So both players scouting the wrong direction, going to get the latest possible scouts. They'll meet in the center of the map somewhere around here and be like, oh, okay, I guess we're on the wrong sides. But looking like we're going to see a Dragoon expand here out of Rotj. Jedi 1 is making his first Zealot, but that Zealot is a bit later, so I don't think he's planning on putting any major Zealot pressure on with his Zealots. Probably going to make the one Zealot and go into a Dragoon and expand behind that. WetWorm kind of going way into the main here to look, but yeah, so they'll meet here. I was a little off. First Marine is out. I'm actually only making 1 Marine, so he's not going to go up to the 3 Marines, but he hasn't seen what his opponent's doing yet, so for now he's just holding. Hey, Escalade, you still in here, bud? Take care of that. I made you mod for a reason. Alright, that first Zealot's going to trickle across to the top left of the map here and try and see if he can get some damage done. We still only have the 1 Marine, so... Oh. Jedi 1 actually stopping at the top of the ramp here. So, actually, WetWorm might get away with this. The factory's going to finish up here before too much longer, and the first Vulture will be out. Probe's going to finally come across here and scout. He's going to see the 1 Marine on the low ground, and the command center. We'll see if he decides to come across when he gets this Dragoon up here as well. Escalade, you gonna... Alright, bear with me, guys, here. I'm gonna go big picture for you guys while I get rid of this spam thing. If I can even figure out... Actually, GG called from WetWorm, so that's gonna just instantly end our game. Alrighty then. WetWorm definitely playing a little bit greedy there. Gonna cost him just a little bit. Alright, bear with me, guys. I need to remember how to do the mod stuff on my own freaking channel. Let's see here. Do I need to go to... like this, and then I think I do it through here, right? Get out of here. There we go. There's that dealt with. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I will not suffer bots in my channel. Alright, let's go ahead and get into our last game of the evening. It's going to be doLife. I believe is that. Oh, thank you, Ozzy. I appreciate it, buddy. Alright, let's hop into our last game. I think it's a TVT, if I remember doLife's race correctly, so this might be a long one, so we'll hop right into it. Alright, and in the top left, we have our... Is that olive? Did I say the other olive wrong, or is that dark green? Our greenish, colorish Terran, it is Ash and doLife. And in the bottom right, we have our blue Terran, it is WetWorm. WetWorm showing us a pretty strong TVT against LoveSnow earlier, so we'll see how we can do against doLife. Actually, I have no idea how doLife's TVT is. Unfortunately, WetWorm being a little bit overly greedy in his game against Jedi 1, and Jedi 1 capitalizing upon that pretty handily. And once again, just like last time when I was casting the TVT, please be aware TVT is not a matchup I am a student of. I do watch it on occasion, and I definitely don't turn it off if it comes on, but it's definitely the matchup I know the least amount about, so if I get something wrong, you know, and you are aware of that, feel free to correct me in chat, or just, you know, let me know, or accept the fact that sometimes I might be a little bit wrong with some of my call-outs, but so far, both of our players opening pretty normal. We're not going to see anything crazy. I don't really think BBS is a thing against Terran, but it's definitely something that you can do. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. I definitely have never seen it really done in competitive play at the very least, outside of some really, really weird situations, so... Barrick's going to go down way faster for WetWorm here. Actually, quite a bit faster for WetWorm. Looking at their SCV count, was there a skipped SCV somewhere, or is doLife just actually like a half an SCV behind? It looks like doLife might just be a half SCV behind, so some really good optimization early on from WetWorm once again. Yeah, that's kind of exactly how I am, Ozzy. Whenever I play TVT on my Terran account, I just I make vultures and I click A, and if I don't win, then I leave. So that's my extent of my my TVT knowledge. Alright, both players once again scouting the wrong direction, but a cross scout spawn would have been really weird to see, so actually kind of expected in this time. Gas mining from both of our players, we'll see if they go up to 100 and stop, or if they are going to keep mining gas, and we'll see any extra factories coming down from either one of our players. Barracks is finished up for WetWorm here. Barracks will finish up here for... Actually, ironically, they both kind of built the supply depot in the same spots, just opposites. Most of what I know about playing T is what to complain about. That's true. Alright, looks like both of them did pull out of gas. So only one gas. So both of them probably going to go in factory and then expand behind that. I think that's pretty much the normal play here. Once again, factory is just a little bit faster for WetWorm, but doLife actually making up quite a bit of difference. His barracks is a lot further behind than his factory is. So doLife starting to get some better optimization going into this game a little bit further on. First Marine going to come over here and deny scouting. You can actually put your Marine right here on this spot, and I think on this ramp it's this spot, but I'm not as good at the top with this spot, and actually workers can't get past you. In case you didn't know, for these reverse ramps, it also works on the normal ramps as well, but you can even use one Zergling and block the ramp entirely like that. Alright, both scouts are going to get pushed away. They both got it. I'm pretty sure doLife's got in as well, but actually I might be wrong on that. Either way, he sees the CC, so he knows what's going on. WetWorm actually going to keep his SCV alive and get it out. That's impressive. Alright, Barracks is scouting down towards the wrong base. He hasn't readjusted his position yet, and WetWorm's still keeping his Barracks at home. So, once again, WetWorm starting off with the Vulture, but he's going Vulture into Machine Shop this time. And we have Vulture into Machine Shop from doLife as well, so... The hardest part of the TVT is DTs. Alright, both players are expanding here. There's not really much crazy going on. It's a TVT. Everyone knows what that's about. Both players getting their second factory. There's absolutely no build deviations here yet at all. They both built one Vulture into Machine Shop. They both made their second factory at the same time. Both made their CC at relatively the same time, so... This Barracks is still going to the wrong base. He saw him. I know for a fact he saw him, because I saw him see the command center. He just hasn't moved this. Yeah, he's finally noticed and moving the Barracks the right direction. So the Barracks might actually reach each other's bases at about the same time now, even though WetWorm was a bit late to lift his up and move his across the map. Looks like we do our first deviation. WetWorm is going for Vulture speed, whereas we are getting an Armory here added to doLife, so... I'm pretty sure the Armory is an anti-Vulture move, if I'm not wrong. Once again, TVT not my strongest matchup, but I'm pretty sure you do this if you think your opponent's going to go for fast Vultures, and it's to basically counter the Vultures. But like I said, I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. I think that's what it is. But we can see our opponent here is going for Vulture speed, and Vultures will probably get mines if we didn't get that already, and I missed it. It's possible I did. I'm not really good at looking at this up here. I'm not used to casting from replays as much, so... Second gas going down a little bit faster here for doLife. WetWorm still just amassing those Vultures. We are going up to 3 factories now for WetWorm, but still only sitting on the 2 factories. Going into double Machine Shop, though, for doLife. So our first major build deviation, the factory as opposed to the Vulture speed and mines, and then it's not the factory, the Armory, and then dual Machine Shop as opposed to 3 factory. We are getting quite the Vulture count here, so I'm not sure if there was something that set him off to make the Armory, or it looks like he might just be going fast upgrades, actually, so... We'll see if he makes any Goliaths at all. He might make Goliaths once he sees the Vulture count. Although he has enough tanks out now that he probably doesn't need to worry about it. Mines are going to finish up when he gets across the map here, so he's got to be really careful. Really good mines being laid down here can completely wipe this army, and then suddenly WetWorm has a bunch of Vultures in your base. But doLife spreading his troops out and actually creating a wall with his troops so that these Vultures can't just run in. And this does 2 things. 1, the Vultures can't run to the main, and 2, they can't get a really strong surround and start laying mines everywhere. Alright, doLife's got to be really careful to pull back. Oh, he triggered 2 of those mines. One of them gets shot mid-motion, but... Oh, both of these tanks are really weak. doLife is going to push this back, but only just losing a tank and almost losing a second with those mines. But doLife does a really good job of holding that first wave. More Vultures are coming across the map, this time with the Marine support, though, so we will see if he can hold the second wave. But we are up to 3 tanks now. And we are going to get this one. We're actually repairing the Vulture before the tank. I think that this unit here is the higher priority for the repair, but repairing takes a lot of APM. I don't necessarily blame him. And once again, WetWorm setting up the massive minefield outside of his opponent's base. Probably will go into siege tanks behind this, just like last time, and try and go for a contain. But unlike last time, he's not going to get as much early damage as he had, so we'll see how strong it is against an opponent that's a bit more equal with economy to him. More and more Vultures running across the map here. We got a 4th factory coming down. We are going to 4 factories for doLife as well. We have a very strong siege tank count for doLife. Vulture speed on the way for doLife now as well. And I think siege mode, is that for... Yeah. That's WetWorm's siege mode just about to finish up. So we're probably going to start rallying siege tanks soon. But the siege tank count for doLife is pretty massive. We do have scans, so we can place down a... Ooh, he's going to be... I mean, Terran units are really good at destroying mines, but you get a really strong clump like this, you're not going to be able to shoot all those mines. So he's got to be really careful. Oh, he's got to be really, really careful here. Oh, I'm just watching this with bated breath. If he takes one more step forward, this could be catastrophic. Alright, I think we see our siege tank. Okay, 1 Goliath and 1 siege tank coming across the map now. Those are just Vultures. That's our barracks. Oh! 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 Somehow only gets 1 siege tank, but that was a lot of mines. And it does prompt doLife to place on a scan. Ooh! Ooh! Oh, that could have been so much worse than it was. But we do have a slightly soft contain, but doLife doesn't have to bust this out. He can just A-click into here. He's got to focus down the tank, though. These vultures have already laid down their mines. Ooh, he's taking a lot of extra damage here that he doesn't need to. Yeah, we got to get this tank dead. And now suddenly the shoes on the other foot, doLife can push across the map and potentially get a contain on WetWorm here. Yeah, this siege tank's not going to make it home, so we're going to siege it up and see what damage we can get done with it. I like that decision. Maybe we can get some mines down here as well, slow this push down. We're using the vulture. Okay, alright. We do lose one siege tank for one siege tank there. We got one at 1 HP. This siege tank is so lucky to be alive. Alright, more lines being laid down here. We're going to put the siege tank behind it. Oh, doLife. Be careful, be careful! Oh, no. Oh, no. It's all going wrong. Okay, we do have another tank. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh. My heart cannot take these mines. I'm going to have a heart attack live on stream, guys. Alright, more mines are going down. We do have a scan, though. Hopefully he gets them all before the scan runs out. If we do get them... Okay, so we are going to get the contain. There's a lot less tanks than would have been, although doLife just pushing forward and A-clicking with his tanks. This isn't Starcraft 2. Tanks in tank mode do not do more damage than siege tanks. Oof. These mines, man. Oh my god, that tank lived? The one mine exploded and killed the other two mines, so only one mine did its damage. It's still gonna get cleaned up, but that was impressive. In the meantime, WetWorm taking an expansion behind this, whereas Ash doLife has yet to start his expansion. WetWorm even has a Marine over here looking for it, as well as a Marine in front of his opponent's base to see what's going on. More siege tanks being set up down here, though. Oh, that mine, or that siege tank blast was pretty good. Oh, he scans and sees a mine, so the first shot's going to actually go to WetWorm here. WetWorm going to kill that tank. doLife moving forward just a little bit, but with these vultures coming up, they're going to lay down some mines, and this tank's going to go bye-bye as well. Pop goes the siege tank. Alright, third base is coming up from doLife as well. This is a much more even game than WetWorm versus WetSnow was. WetSnow just took so much damage early on, so that's definitely a lot more back and forth. Yeah, that's a pretty obvious who wins that vulture battle. Alright, doLife's got to be careful, though. Actually, if we get up here and kill this SCV before this finishes, that could be a pretty good delay. More and more scans are going down. Okay, we're going to get siege tanks onto this high ground here. We've got pretty good vision on the map for doLife as well, so doLife actually has the much better vision ring this time than WetWorm. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Terran units are just really good at killing mines, man. As long as there's not too many mines clumped up that they can't shoot them all at once. Like, you're never going to hit a Terran unit with mines. It's just almost impossible. Oh, we do have the one Wraith, though. It's going to slowly tickle down these tanks. Bit of a tank line built up here as well. Going to try and lay some mines down on top of them. Ooh, these mines are going to be really good. That's going to do massive damage. Two siege tanks are going to fall instantly, but doLife with only one siege tank left of his own. Actually not going to trade cost effectively there at all, but still. You know, damage is damage. Just doing some mine clearing in the meantime. Bunch of vultures coming down this way as well. We do have enough vultures here to clean this up, and this siege tank probably isn't long for this world either with only 21 HP. See if doLife focuses the injured one. He does not. So we're actually going to potentially save this one. A lot of mines going down, but not in range of any of these siege tanks. Ooh, this might get... Oh, no, my gosh! No way. Oh my gosh, he somehow got two siege tanks out of that. These mines, man. These mines are crazy. Mine's a pretty good unit. Oh. Oh! Loses another siege tank to a mine. Oh, man. I have never seen so many mines hit so many Terran units before. Alright, are we going to finally kill this barracks off? Meanwhile, doLife is still sitting over here basically at full HP. Yeah, this barracks is going to finally fall. So we do have a science vessel, or science facility for some reason, and we are starting our dropship production. Up to 7 factories and 5 factories with a starport and 2 more factories being added on here from doLife. So factory count for WetWorm come out a little bit faster But his third base is also just slightly faster as well, so... Supplies are fairly even. WetWorm has a slight advantage, but not massively. The science facility allows... Oh, yeah, you're right. The science facility is required for +2. Freaking Terran, man. All of their upgrades are bottlenecked behind one building. I'm a Zerg player. I just naturally get my upgrades as I naturally tech up for other tech, you know? It's smooth. It's an easy transition, unlike Terran. Oh, no more mines, please! Oh! Oh, we lose another tank to a mine. I don't think this is a good push from doLife. This is way too many siege tanks. Yeah, doLife's gonna get wiped here. And that's gonna give WetWorm control of the center of the map for sure. Oh, these mines are gonna go... Oh! Another mine goes down. doLife does have just barely enough left over here that I don't think WetWorm can push, but looks like he's gonna try to anyways. We are only at +1 upgrades for both players. Loses 2 tanks almost instantly, loses a third. He's gonna lose a fourth as well. Oh, just barely get that off in time. Both of these. Okay, so overall we traded almost evenly on tanks, actually, surprisingly somehow. I don't understand Terran versus Terran, man. Alright, WetWorm is taking a fourth behind this, so is doLife, so both of them expanding once again at pretty much the same time. WetWorm's is, you know, almost a full CC ahead, but not too massively ahead. Oh, that's what's getting shot at. Okay, so we are going to finally clear this barracks out as well, although it's going to safely float over the void here. Yep, Goliath range. Goliaths have a lot of range, man. I don't think we're going to see any crazy action going on here for a moment, so let's see what our players are doing. We are up to 7 factories, and we are getting our add-on to start going into dropships. And still at 7 factories here as well, with dropship production already well underway. We are up to 3 dropships here for our Terran WetWorm. But the center of the map is getting cut pretty strongly. But this cut is starting to favor WetWorm a little bit, because he's going to be able to cut off this entire section as well as this entire section. So WetWorm going to have control of more of the center of the map. doLife got to be really careful. Going to lose 2 Goliaths for free there. That's a bit painful, but not the end of the world. And these vultures are going to try and run forward and maybe break this position. That might be enough of them with laying down the mines and losing those 2... oh, we're not focusing the mines either. So yeah, we're going to lose these 2 siege tanks for sure. Going to lose all the vultures in the process. I don't know if that was worth, but it's probably worth. Trading out vultures for tanks is probably always worth. Ooh, okay. Alright, we got dropships full of units heading up towards this top right position. There are 2 siege tanks here, but we can drop right on top of that. There are missile turrets here as well. In the meantime, we are pushing down... Oh, the mine! Oh, only 1 hits, but still. Alright, that drop's going to go down. This is pretty much held. Yeah, we're going to drop right on top of these tanks. So these tanks are going to fall, but we are going to lose at least 2 of these missile turrets. Or 2 of these dropships. And actually... Ooh, we got mines coming down here, so we've got to be really careful pushing in there. This Wraith's still cleaning stuff out down here. Siege tank's still up here doing damage. Yeah, we're losing a lot of SCVs here. This is actually really good damage for WetWorm. Oh. Oh. Oh my gosh, that mine was so close to detonating. Alright, how many SCVs we got left here? So we still have 12, roughly? There might be a little bit more. No, it's exactly 12 plus this one with none mining gas. So yeah, that was quite a bit of SCV kills. It actually evened up the worker count, 57 to 57, so WetWorm maybe not getting the advantage he's thinking he's getting out of that, but we are mining off of our 4th base faster than our opponent is. Despite his base actually being up way, way faster, that's actually only mining a little bit sooner. This is going to finally get cleared out here. No focus firing from doLife here. He's focusing on other things, which is perfectly fine. The macroing and other things are often more important. So it doesn't trade super effective there, but that's okay. This center contain is still pretty strong for doLife. It's going to be pretty hard for WetWorm to push through it, but it's looking like he's going to try to. This is a lot of siege tanks to push into. I don't know if this is the right decision. We're going to have to see how this works out trade-wise. WetWorm's actually looking like he's trading pretty efficiently here. Our upgrades are 1-0. That's why. WetWorm already has his 2-0, so his tanks 2-shot his opponent's tanks, whereas opponents take 3 shots to kill his tanks. So WetWorm going to bust the center here because of the upgrade advantage. doLife's upgrade just about to finish. It just wasn't quite on time. In fact, it just barely finished right after the fight was over. That's extremely unfortunate. That gives WetWorm a pretty strong supply advantage, and he's going to be able to set up a contain, like, right here. He might try and go up and bust this. I don't know if that's the right decision. He's going to go for it. He does have a lot more here, but you've got to be worried about the flanking army coming in from behind you, don't you? The SCV is doing a really good job of drawing tank fire, so actually going to lose 2 tanks before one of our tank even fires once. Yeah, I think even if that misses the splash damage kills at that point, but we are going to secure this base after all. WetWorm not going to be able to push in there and do any damage. Sending vultures in here to try and clean this up, but yeah, they're not going to get the mines down or anything. Ooh, he's got to be really careful here. Trying to take too much splash damage. We're going to lose 1 tank for 1 tank. Ooh, tank shoots the mines, so we're going to lose 2 tanks for 1 tank overall. And there's no tanks in the middle. All this blue is just mines. In the meantime, there's a drop over here on the right-hand side. I didn't see if any SCVs fell, but he is going to pull most of them. Oh, no! Transferring SCVs! Oh, focus fire. Alright, no more are going to fall. Mines are going to clean this up. We did lose a couple there, though. Once again, making the supply count for workers pretty much even. Both players are actually been pretty much even this entire game. This might be a really long TVT. doLife trying to take the top right base, but WetWorm either sniffing it out or he's never seen up there. He's moving his army up there for some reason, though, so maybe he's trying to secure this to take it himself. SCV down here scouting this bottom left-hand side, and it looks like doLife is gonna, or WetWorm's gonna try and go into the. Ooh. Yeah, that's Star Sense here from WetWorm coming up here to check this location. Although this SCV can just cancel and kill this Vulture if he wanted to. 5 HP on that Vulture. Gonna get a really strong position right here. This is gonna be really hard for doLife to break through, especially with these mines out front. Gonna get a lot of extra damage out of these siege tanks before they can get in range. And then move back in here to try and secure the middle as well. Only 1 siege tank in the actual middle of the map. This is kind of holding this bridge more than the middle. Bunch of mines down here as well. That command center gets cancelled. Siege tank can take some pot shots at these vultures. Bunch of dropships loaded up over here for doLife as well. doLife is going to fly over this, which means WetWorm's going to see these dropships coming, and doLife's going to now know that this contain is here. And WetWorm not really reacting strongly. He's sending 4 tanks this way, but this drop's going to get off pretty much uncontested. Instantly lifts the command center. Is he going to fly right into the main? No, he is going to drop here after all. Got 2 more siege tanks coming up from this direction. Siege tanks are going to siege up here from doLife first, though. When the first shots of WetWorms go on to the vultures, unfortunately. We do have 2 Goliaths, so the Wraith's not going to be able to do anything here. This is going to be really hard for WetWorm to break up here and reclaim this, actually. I wouldn't mind seeing him just, like, unsiege 1 or 2 and move them a little bit closer to the ramps. WetWorm's got to have some sort of response to this. Either to break another base, or he needs to come up here and break this. But this is not going to be a cost-effective base to re-break into. The command center is burning. It's probably going to burn down, actually. It looks like WetWorm's just going to take the bottom left instead and just give up on this base location for now. Although these SCVs were never transferred to another base, so they're going to come up here and just be free kills. That's unfortunate. This train of units, man. Alright, there's a bunch of blue in the center of the map, but most of it's mines. This base is still denied. This base is probably going to go up since most of our army's on this side of the map. Did our dropships make it out? They did. Oh my gosh, we got so many dropships now. And they are loaded up once again looking for a fight. There's no engineering base, so we have no missile turrets for WetWorm here. He's just now throwing down the missile. Oh, mine didn't go off. Okay, we're good. Sending SCVs down to this base location, and another massive dropping and heading out onto the map. Looks like it might get scouted here by these mines. Yeah, so WetWorm is going to once again see this coming. Whether he actually notices or not is an entirely different thing, but these are flying fully over WetWorm's vision. He definitely knows this is coming, and he does see it. Going down into this base down here in the bottom left. Ooh, he's got to be careful. He's going to lose one of these almost instantly, but it is the Vulture dropship. So of all the dropships to lose, that is definitely the best one. Dropping all of his tanks on top of the tanks that were up here defending, and now it's tanks on the high ground versus tanks on the low ground. doLife once again going to secure his opponent's base location, and he's not going to give it up easily. They have Wraiths here, but oh, we do have Cloak though, so if we don't get a scan, okay, we do get a scan. We got to make sure these Wraiths get wiped out. doLife is going to wipe those Wraiths out, and we're probably going to lose another command center, but in the meantime, we've re-expanded to this location, and we do have one of them saturated. But Wraith is chasing these dropships home, so we are going to lose the dropships. More cloaked Wraiths coming in. Going to start focusing down the Goliaths. doLife not looking, he's doing other things. So these Wraiths will probably eventually clean this up. In the meantime, though, we still have this base secured. And it's going to be a long time before this base can be reclaimed. They still got a pretty decent mineral count, too. Oh, not sure what was going on over there that they were shooting at, but might have been a mine or something. doLife looking like he wants to start expanding towards this top right location. He can probably take this base and these bases behind it with this base secured. He does have to do something about this, though. Because this base is about to mine out, so we're about to be on one base economy here for doLife. Whereas WetWorm has re-expanded. There's not a huge amount of SCVs over here yet, but actually he managed to transfer more over here than I thought. And these wraiths are going to finally clean this all up, but this command center might burn down. Let's keep an eye on that. 2 SCVs and a dropship. He's going to try and drop these on a tank and... Oh, maybe not. What's his plan with this? Okay, we are going to repair this command center and keep it alive. Oh, he's dropping it over here to start expanding over here. So, yeah, he's bypassing the siege tanks here with a dropship. Got it. He's got to be really careful about these wraiths, though. There's only 2 Goliaths here. Okay, we are getting missile turrets up as well. Oh, big move out here from doLife. Going to try and block off the bottom left side of this map and maybe potentially try to break this location. I wouldn't mind seeing him remake the dropships. He's doing really good at the dropship play, but he's lost quite a few of them. Alright, siege tanks are going to siege up here for doLife first, but it is low ground to high ground. Ooh. Oh, this is not a cost-efficient trade at all. We already lost 4 tanks for doLife or 1 tank, 5 tanks for doLife, 6 tanks for doLife. We traded 7 tanks for 2 tanks. Now, these Goliaths are going to try and come up here. So siege tanks, if you get close to it, these Goliaths might actually be able to beat it. Okay, these Goliaths are going to finally clear this out. But that was still 7 siege tanks and a Goliath for like 4 siege tanks and 2 Goliaths, so definitely a really good trade for WetWorm there. Trying to break up that high ground. I actually didn't think he was going to do it, but he did manage to do it, but it definitely was not cost efficient. Okay, this base is now fairly secure. And now it's siege tanks on the low ground versus siege tanks on the low ground. It's starting to pelt away at this command center. I don't know if doLife is aware of these bases down here. Unfortunately, the thing doesn't tell you if it is or not, but none of the scans look like they went directly onto the bases recently, so I'm not entirely sure if he knows or not. Scan's going down just to see if he can get into range to kill that. Alright, yeah, we got more dropships once again coming out. Probably going to reinforce this position. But this is actually going to finally get cleared up entirely. We basically got 5 tanks defending our entire world. 3 tanks on this side. Yeah, all of our troops are busy elsewhere. doLife suddenly, though, with a pretty massive army advantage with quite a large bank as well, despite the fact that he's mining on less bases overall. doLife now definitely knows about these base locations. He's going to drop into the high ground main up here. We're going to get our siege tanks sieged up. We've got 4 siege tanks here. Going to be able to start shelling down on these tanks as they come up the ramp. However, the first shots did end up, unfortunately, going on SCVs. But these vultures are going to finish off the tanks on the high ground, so we are still going to have tanks on the high ground holding the ramp pretty handily. We're going to have to abandon this location with these SCVs, and these SCVs are pretty much destined to die. Starting to build SCVs at this command center, but we can't transfer SCVs here because we're entirely contained off from our base location. Despite the fact that he owns this base, he doesn't own any of the land around it at all. This base is just about to mine out. This one's not too healthy either, but it's got a little bit of life in it. But this base is basically dead at this point. More dropships coming up. Probably going to try and break this location with it. We are dropping onto these tanks. Actually clear out quite a few of them with the mines and the vultures combined. Who's scanning what? Anything important? I don't even know. Alright. Yeah, this drop's going to go down to this location. We're going to try and break this. There are 2 Goliaths and 3 tanks here, though. I don't know if it's the best location to try and break. Yeah, looks like he's going to try and reinforce this location. Yeah. Or we're going to just drop our tanks here in no man's land and set up a little random, like, sort of contain here. Ooh, does count some transferring SCVs, though, so that's pretty nice. I think 4 Wraiths actually beat the 2 Goliaths with these upgrades. They are 3 weapon upgrades, so... Although... actually does manage to kill both those Goliaths, so these siege tanks are pretty much dead. It's just a matter of how long it takes. I don't know about even moving your tanks down here, man. The Wraiths will do it on their own. Okay, he's not gonna... Oh, he does. WetWorm just showing off, microing these wraiths. Got nothing else to do with his ADM right now, apparently. Oh, we do lose that tank to a mine. But more dropships coming out with massive amounts of units. Once again, I don't know how doLife has so much more money than WetWorm. WetWorm is mining on so many more bases. This base is pretty much mined out at this point. Or not mined out, but out of SCVs at this point. But other than that, another big drop here in the natural, which means this base is going to be under fire here pretty soon. It's not looking good for WetWorm, man. WetWorm is really struggling to even keep up with doLife's army movement at the moment. What do we got army-wise? We got a little bit of contingent here, a little bit of contingent here, small contingent here, and this baby little force here. Yeah, this base is going to get cleared up. Doesn't even list the command center, so it pretty much dies instantly. More wraiths coming out. I mean, we have 2 Goliaths here, so theoretically the wraiths could eventually clean this all up. We do have Cloak, but this one's pretty low on energy. Waiting for the scan to wear out. In the meantime, he's going to lose all of the SCVs down here, though. Massive train. This is pretty much doLife's only mining base. We've got 5 SCVs mining minerals here. This is going to mine out soon, but we do have a massive bank from doLife. But if WetWorm can somehow hold on, there's no real safe way for SCVs to get over to this base location. But unfortunately, this is the only base that WetWorm's mining from, so they're both pretty much out of economy. In fact, doLife's just going to expand here so we can actually transfer his SCVs here. Like, look at this. Look at that. Look how many SCVs are here. Just this little group right here, and you get 12 SCVs every time. Oh my gosh, that's so many wraiths. We are trying to clear this out entirely with wraiths. What are our wraith upgrades? 8 plus 1 is 9 damage, so they're doing 5 damage, 4 damage to these tanks. Oh my gosh. doLife actually losing every single one of these tanks and getting basically nothing in return for him. But he does have another massive army in the center. He's got to be careful about these mines. Ooh. Okay, we're good. Oh, one of those mines did go off. Bunch of Goliaths just wiping out this wraith count. That might be GG, because he was like relying on these wraiths to keep him alive, and he just lost almost half of them. Well, he lost 4 of them. Well, we got 2 more coming in, so we got 8 wraiths. They do have cloaks still, but how many scans does doLife have? We have scans, so yeah, we're gonna have a contain outside the natural of WetWorm here. WetWorm almost out of money. He's barely mining at all. This might be our game. Trying to micro his heart out, kill as many tanks as he can without the Goliaths killing him. GG, well played is called. doLife is going to take it. Alright, let me see if Escalade is live yet. Looks like he might be. So we're going to go ahead and raid Escalade. That was all I had for you guys today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Thank you for those who followed. Thank you for those who already follow. I will make the VOD live, so if you missed any of your games or missed any of the earlier games, go ahead and check that out. But we are going to go ahead and go raid Escalade here in just one moment. As soon as I can spell his darn name. Yeah, the beginning of that TVT was crazy. They pretty much just kept slamming armies into each other until they ran out of armies. Alright, there we go. Raid channel. Start raid. Alright, once again, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.